Spider-Man is something. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero because it was the first superhero movie that I watched ever as a kid, and it always had a special space in my heart. If somebody asks me who's Spider, Tobey Maguire is the Spider-Man for me. There's end of debate. Even when you're more powerful, more experienced, more this, sometimes all you need is that spark, and it only comes from within. Probably I would want to be Spider-Man on World Cup final or something, because then I'd have Spidey sense. I would be able to catch.
Hi Shubman, firstly welcome to Pinkvilla.
Thank you, Mish.
Shubman, my first question to you is, how did you come on board to be the voice of Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is something. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero because it was the first superhero movie that I watched ever as a kid, and it always had a special space in my heart, and I just felt so connected to the superhero as Spider-Man, and I still am. I am obsessed with Spider-Man, and when I got this opportunity, when I got to know, Sony wanted me to be the voice of Indian Spider-Man, I was really excited for it. And obviously, I didn't had any experience in dubbing, so I thought it would be a good experience for me to be able to be the voice of Indian Spider-Man. Obviously, historic moment for all of us Indians having its own Spider-Man.
Yeah. But was it an instant yes from your end the minute they came to you, or were you in two minds? Because, like you said, you didn't have the experience of dubbing.
I didn't have the experience of dubbing, but I like challenges. And it was just something that I thought it would be fun and exciting to do. And I knew I would be able to learn something while doing it. And I did learn a lot of things. So having all of these factors considered, it was a no-brainer for me.
Okay. If you could tell us, what did you learn?
To be able to express certain emotions that you don't on general basis as a person. Like, I'm the kind of person who 90% of the time I'm showing only maybe 2 or 3 types of emotions. And when you are dubbing and when you are expressing someone that you are not, you should be able to get into the character. And I just think the whole aspect of acting and dubbing, it's very fascinating, to be able to to be able to portray someone that you are not, and to be able to convince other people that you are them. So in that way, it was very fascinating for me.
Okay. And we started off the conversation, you said that you have been a big fan of Spider-Man over the years. What are your memories with Spider-Man through the growing years?
So my first memory is, I remember, so the first time I ever watched a Spider-Man movie was the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Part 1. And I think I watched it on Set Max. It was Set Max premiere. And at that time, there used to be newspaper with all the channels and what time the movies are going to come.
Yeah.
And it was a Saturday, and it came at about 8 or 9 p.m. I don't remember correctly. And I watched the whole movie. And then there used to be a repeat the next day on Sunday in the afternoon. And I watched the repeat as well. And I was just obsessed. There was one scene which I put it, and then on Monday when I went to school, there was one scene, where there's a fire in the house, and Green Goblin is pretending to be a grandmother who needs help, and the Spider-Man puts his web. He pulls him closer and then kicks him. That was it was insane for me. That scene, I imitated. I went to the school. I was about, I think, 6. I was about 6 or 7. I went to the school, and all of my friends watched the movie, and we were trying to imitate that. Spin a web, pull him closer, and then that action scene was just memorable.
I think that's something every person from that generation has done. Even I'm from the same generation. Even I've done that. So
that movie. If somebody asks me who's Spider, Tobey Maguire is the Spider-Man for me. There's end of debate. Not even 0.5% of doubt, or I think maybe all of them are great, but for me, Tobey Maguire is the OG.
Okay. And what does the term superhero mean to you?
It means a lot of things. It means to be able to inspire people. And when I say inspire, I don't just mean by just one aspect. Like for example, when you look at Spider-Man, it's not just like one thing that inspires you. It's about how he manages things, how he's able to put what is important and what is priority for him to be able to just inspire people in any way possible is the term superhero for me.
Okay. But like you said, superhero is always inspiring.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest learning for you from your best superhero or biggest superhero?
The biggest learning for me would be from so I've read quite a lot of Marvel comics. I haven't read that much of Spider-Man comics, but I've read a lot of Thor comics. Most of the Thor comics I think I've read, and the biggest learning that I took from the Thor comic was, there was this certain comic which was named as Old King Thor.
Okay.
And sometimes you think that you're finished or you're done, you can't do this anymore, and then someone, so in that comic, a younger version of Thor comes and he inspires the old and like the more powerful version of Thor to be able to do something that he always wanted to do, which is rescue like humanity and like all of those things. And it was just so inspiring. Like even when you're more powerful, more experienced, more this, sometimes all you need is that spark, and it only comes from within. Like no matter how much someone else tells you, if it doesn't come from within, then there is no point. And then that really inspired me, like to be able to watch the Almighty. And at that point, the comic which I'm talking about, Thor was like he was above Odin. Like he had all of the power, the knowledge, and still he was just like not inspired. And then the younger version of him comes, version of Thor, and he inspires
him.
Yeah.
Do you implement the learnings in real life too?
I don't know if I implement, but obviously it goes into your subconscious, right? And everything you consume, everything you read, everything you see, anything you consume, it's going into your subconscious. So I try to look out for the positive things wherever or whenever possible. So I think I'd like to think it's going in my subconscious.
Okay. And one last question. If you were to be Spider-Man for a day, what would you do? What all would you do?
Okay, number one would be to swing across the buildings. And then probably I would want to be Spider-Man on like World Cup final or something. Because then I'd have Spidey sense. I would be able to catch the balls.
Okay. On that note, thank you so much. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.